Ooh. Sexy in the air, dude. We got Taemin Sexy in the Air, and this time we got the studio CHOOM version. Y'all know I gotta break this one down because Taemin is an insane performer, and I feel like that's really all I need to say because y'all know who he is. If y'all like Taemin, don't forget to subscribe, and let's go, baby. God damn. That lighting effect, start us off. His performance level is just so high. I love it. I want to quickly talk about the very beginning, obviously when he's by himself. I think what's really cool about Taemin himself is just how he performs towards us, how he can really reel us in to watch the entirety of the choreography itself along with the dancers. I love that about him. And I like how the choreo is very bouncy in this first section, or I guess in the first half of the song actually. Because you hear those drums and snares. And what I like about how he approaches, or whoever choreographed this, what I like is the fact that they keep this natural bounce and grooviness because of those drums and snares in the back. It gives you that bouncy feeling, and what I like is that when they do approach it, when the dancers actually finally come in here, the choreo in itself doesn't call for hitting like sharp pictures or anything, but rather following the rhythm of this song. So I mean, I'm just gonna replay that section because I just like the way that they fully extend a lot of their moves and really fill out a lot of the moves as well. Not only are they following the rhythm of the song, but they're also really using the entirety of the musicality to fill it out for us and really enjoy like every movement of the body, like how they're doing it. You'll have some intricate movement in there, but for the most part of the first half of the song, it'll be groovy. The footwork, being light on their feet. And another thing I do want to point out, which I didn't point out earlier, is a little bit of the musicality where I think Taemin does, or he sings hoo hoo. I can't sing like him, okay? So I'm just going to do it like that. And they match it in a way where they hit these sharper pictures rather than following that loose groovy movement that I was talking about earlier. So this kind of gives us a little bit of a balance of watching the choreo go from, or watch the choreo from entirely just grooving to giving us a little bit of intricacy in between all of that. So I will just play that moment. It's coming up. So it's a way that they're following the way that he's singing the hoo hoo da. I'm gonna just play, you know what, like 3 times. Yeah, 2 more times, baby. Oh shit, I talked over that. I'm so sorry. One more time, one more time. Ooh. It's that little detail. Oh, that shoulder move. Again, going back to this groovy and loose part of the choreo with that whole footwork. It almost feels like a workout, right? Because it keeps going. And that's the thing with that repeated choreo that we see with the footwork, is that essentially it just keeps going. If you end up covering this dance, you're gonna know, like, once you get everything down, you're probably gonna be like really using your breath. You gotta breathe through a lot of these movements because It's just following the rhythm of the music, while the choreo in itself is not necessarily super fast and super hard hitting. It's about filling out those movements of what I talked about earlier. And the one thing I actually want to point out from that section until we get to this switch up of the song, and this is the second half. So this part that we're coming up to is, I want to just say the second half, because you'll notice the vibe change. But I'll talk about that when we get there. I love that shoulder move. Hold up, I'm gonna go all the way back. So in this little section, before they start doing that, you know, groovy choreo that I'm talking about, this is going to be the section that they kind of get a little bit more intricate with the choreography, rather than like bouncing and grooving through the choreo. I know I've been using those words a lot, but I just want to emphasize that that is like a part of the choreography, and you'll see that they do it all the time within the first half. The choreography is going to be a little bit more intricate, and they're going to have more pictures and more staging effects to go ahead and really give us that contrast. And so I'm just gonna play that entire section once more, and yeah, it is what it is. I just like seeing Taemin dance. It is what it is. God damn. The way that they follow his singing. Oh. Love that shoulder move, because it's like, it's a great way to visualize it for us as listeners of the song as well. He hits that, like, if we're watching the dance and also obviously listening to the song, it's a nice thing that we get a close-up of him doing that shoulder move to really have us hear that part of the song when he sings that. Love that shit. I just like and we get back to this you know, the thing I've been talking about the entire video. Ooh. Another great contrast here before we get to the switch up. Another great contrast. So here is when we get to this part where Taemin is going to face back and all the dancers are going to continue with the choreography. What I like to call this effect. I'm sure like a lot of people have different words for it, but I like to call it controlled chaos. What happens here is that we get to a point where Taemin essentially just going to stop dancing for a little bit, and the dancers will continue with the choreography. He's going to have this like character, this posture, essentially kind of just performing in a way where he's not dancing, but the focus is still on him, but we have chaos around him. And what a great switch up here is because now they're all going to hit poses, and Taemin is just going to go ahead and, you know, do his solo. And this is a switch up from the dancers that were all doing the choreography while Taemin was just standing still. And this time the dancers will just go ahead and hit a pose while Taemin does his solo. It's a great effect. When you have a large number of dancers, it's a great effect to like use. Oof, the head sways. Perfect timing with the head sways. Oof. Oh my god, Taemin. The way that he performs towards the camera too is, I feel like I haven't really highlighted that. Oof. Sexy in the air, dude. Ooh. God damn. Is this a reaction or a breakdown? What the hell's going on with me right now? Woo! The fucking walk, bro. Sorry, my language. Okay. Alright, so before obviously we get to the last portion of the video, which is pretty much a solo, I want to talk about the switch up. So the second half of the song, where when you're listening to the song, you obviously will hear the switch up of the song, the vibe, right? So what I like about this is that we get a complete change of just vibe, as well as, you know, character. How they're going to attack this next section here, and what I really like about it, I'm just gonna pause at that very moment once we get there, is so when we get to this song, when they switch up, the way that the choreography is gonna look and feel is gonna be more aggressive now. They're gonna be a lot heavier with their movements, and you can tell by the way that like it's also staged with how the effects will look for us. And the reason for that is that the entirety of the first half has been nothing but just like really following the rhythm of the music, and as well as like grooving, bouncing through the song, and really fully extending those movements, not really hitting a lot of intricacy within the choreo, but rather just like actually like dancing, right? Now when we get to this second half, we're gonna get more of the intricacy of the formations, the aggressiveness of this choreography, because they want us to feel that switch up. Because if we get like a whole stagnant thing throughout the entire, like stagnant type of choreo, where it's kind of just like a flat line of energy throughout the entire thing, the watchers, like the audience, we will get bored. So this is why I appreciate this a lot, this switch up, because it's a balance for us. It's a great way to kind of like, you know how like you would eat food and you need like a palate cleanser sometimes, like you'll eat the same thing every single day, but you need like that palate cleanser. That's kind of like the same thing. So this is a great way to do that switch up, and we'll just play that entire section again, and I'll pause through it just to kind of like, you know, obviously highlight some of my favorite moments here.
This is crazy.
Timing is very important within this following section as well. So this formation right here, when they get into it, and how they actually get into it, is I like how they followed that like weird sound in the back, and they kind of like chaotically get into the formation by waving their hands. Not really waving their hands, but throwing their hands around to get to this lower level where everyone's kind of, not even kind of, facing the ground, right? And we get Taemin, who obviously is center. He has this like, you know, it almost looks like he's driving a car. The way that I want to use the analogy is like he's the driver of a vehicle and he's controlling this like mechanism. That's a better way to put it. And I like this effect because they get into this like really subtle movement, but it's like heavy, while like Taemin is like controlling this entire formation. I like that effect visually. Ooh, the head sways are so good. So the head sways here, super important that everybody hits this like on time. The counts, everything, the textures, the speed of how they're actually doing the head sways also matters. You can't have like one person going faster than the other. Everybody quite literally obviously has to hit the timing, but you will notice if someone is doing it faster, even if they hit it right on time. Again, this is very important because for this effect to read, everyone's got to be, you know, obviously hitting the textures right, but also hitting the timing. And on top of that, hitting like the same speed of how they do the head sways. Great effect here. I love it. I love it. Love that. Ooh. So I like that little moment where they let themselves loose a little bit here. So it's after the head part, and this is the part where it really gives me "Sexy in the Air," the song title. Okay, this is exactly why it's like, oh, now I understand why this is sexy in the air. This is what the feeling gives me. They let themselves go, and while Taemin is looking at us, like smoldering at us, you know what I'm saying? Like, and the body rolls. I wouldn't say they're body rolls, but more of like this dip type of movement, and it's more of a kind of like conversational movement. So, and it definitely matches the way that he sings, and I love that about it. Here, they're gonna get more aggressive with their chest and shoulders. Bro. Bro. So not that second half. I was talking about the when they get a little bit more aggressive is actually this first part right here with the shoulders. See, let me go back. Yeah. You see how it's like more aggressive here, but when they get to the second half of this part, subtle. There's still that chest movement, still those throws, but less energy. Ooh. Wow, Taemin. Oh my god, before I even talk about the walking part, holy shit. God damn, this is gonna be a long video. God, Taemin, bro, stop doing this to me. Stop. I want to point this out. Super cool, like simple staging effect where first line and I think I want to say third line will hit a lower level, while second line and fourth line should hit a higher level here. And so they hit this like swaying movement, right, with their entire body to follow like the way he sings. But I'm talking about the staging effect rather. And you see how Taemin and the first line will have this lower level where they're on the floor. Third line back here will also follow that to give the second and fourth line the higher level. And this is a great way to just put dynamics into your formation. So having levels in formations really like bring out effects in, you know, within like how many dancers you have. So it doesn't always have to be everybody standing at the same level. If you want to change levels, it like adds great effect without really doing a bunch of formation changes too. Damn. Oh, holy fuck. Oh, aura. So the reason why I'm like, my opinion is that the walking is actually the highlight of this entire thing, because I'm a big advocate for less is more, and he didn't even do much, right? Like along with his dancers, they did not do much. Obviously this part is choreographed. There's timing with it involved, their postures, everything about this obviously is choreographed. However, the biggest thing to take away from this actual moment right here is how Taemin hooks us in and how he performs this. This is why I think this moment, like this last part or before he goes into his solo, is such a is my favorite moment, because he really hooks us in with his performance level, his stage presence, rather than like doing a shit ton of combos. They choose to do this formation and they all walk right on time with purpose and intention. I fucking love that shit. He didn't even do much, bro. He didn't even do much. And with the solo at the very end, he's really, at this point, showing us his power as a dancer and performer. Yeah, let's just watch that one more time. I just want to see it again. Honestly, that's really why. He attacks this last part of the song much more aggressively, honestly, than throughout the entire song. And again, it's to show the power that he has in his stage presence. Love that. Freaking Taemin, man. If y'all learned something from this video, man, let me know. I love watching Taemin dance because he's such a great performer, and he really like knows how to hook the audience in with his performance level. And we know that he's a great dancer, but on top of that, it's just he's that idol, bro. Like, what else is there to say? If y'all love Taemin, don't forget to subscribe. I'm out.